Good day everyone. Our topic for today is all about graphing quadratic function. Okay, let's start. First question is, what is a quadratic function? A quadratic function is one of the form of f of x is equals to ax squared plus bx plus c, or a second degree equation, where a, b, and c are numbers with a not equal to 0, or yung variable a is not equal to 0. Also, the graph of a quadratic function is a curve called a parabola. So, parang letter U, like this. Pwedeng opens upward dyan or pwedeng opens downward. Okay? Another, all parabolas are symmetric with respect to a line called the axis of symmetry. Pag sinabi natin axis of symmetry, ito yung hahati sa parabola natin into two equal parts. So, saan siya manggagaling? Obviously, sa may gitna. Parang pag itinupi natin yung parabola dun sa axis of symmetry, pantay siya or mirror image ang mangyayari. Next, the intersection of the parabola and the axis of symmetry is what we call the vertex. Also, kailangan din nating i-review na meron tayong tinatawag na vertex form. We have f of x is equals to a multiplied by x minus h squared plus k, wherein the value of h is equals to negative b over 2a, while yung k natin is 4ac minus b squared all over 4a. Tandaang mabuti itong values ng h and k. Later, magagamit natin to. Okay? So, let's move on. Graph of quadratic function. So, write the following function in the vertex form. F of x equals to a times x minus h squared plus k. And then, locate the axis of symmetry and the vertex. Last, find the domain and range and sketch the graph of the function. So, meron tayong tatlong examples. Now, nabanggit yung domain and range. So, again, review lang mula ulit natin, what is a domain? The domain of a function is the set of all possible inputs for the function, or sometimes they call it lahat ng possible values ng x. Now, in this case, since yung ating function is a polynomial. When we say polynomial, walang variable sa denominator, walang radical sign. Ang mga exponent niyan is an integer. Therefore, yung ating domain kapag quadratic function is always all real numbers. In symbol, ito ay negative infinity to positive infinity. So, mamaya makikita natin yan. And the range is the resulting y values after substituting all the possible values of x. Okay, or simply, pag sinabi natin range, lahat ng y values. Lahat ng possible y values. In domain, all possible x value, while we have the range is all possible y values. Now, yung range ng ating parabola ay depende kung yung parabola natin ay opens upward or opens downward. Pag opens upward kasi, papunta yung positive infinity, while kapag opens downward, papunta naman siyang negative infinity. Okay, so let's begin. Number 1. First step na gagawin natin is to isolate lahat ng terms na merong x. So in this case, sila lang naman dalawa yon, so lagyan natin sila ng parentheses. Next, kailangan natin gawin tong perfect square trinomial. So paano gagawin yun? Una, kunin natin yung numerical coefficient ng x, ng may x lang, and then divided by 2 or multiply by 1/2, and then squared natin. So, palagi lang naman ganun yung process. Kunin natin yung coefficient ng variable x times by 1/2 and then squared. To make it balance, since nag-add tayo, kailangan din natin mag-subtract para ma-eliminate natin kung ano man yung in-add natin. Okay? So, nag-add tayo ng 1/2 times 2 then squared. So, kailangan din natin mag-subtract ng 1/2 times 2 and then squared natin. Next, simplify. So, we have x squared plus 2x, 1/2 times 2 is 1, 1 squared is 1, so minus 1. Next, we have x squared plus 2x plus 1. Ito ay perfect square trinomial. Pwede natin siyang i-factor as x plus 1 times x plus 1, or simply, magkakaroon tayo dito ng x plus 1 squared and then minus 1. Now, in this case, nandun siya sa form na f of x equals to a times x minus h squared plus k. Yun nga lang, ito ay subtraction, ito ay plus. So, gawin natin minus. Madali lang naman siyang gawin. So, gawin natin siya as x minus negative 1. Negative of negative 1 will give us positive 1. So, balik na ulit tayo doon. Now, we can easily see that h is equals to negative 1 and k is also negative 1. Therefore, our vertex is equals to negative 1, negative 1. So, yung vertex, we're done. Standard form or vertex form, we're done. Vertex, we're done. Now, axis of symmetry, ito yung x-coordinate ng ating vertex. So, in this case, yun yung h. So, para kukunin yung ating axis of symmetry, simple lang, kunin natin tong h is equals to negative 1 at yung h, palitan natin ng x. So, magiging x equals to negative 1 and that's it. Next, we are now ready to graph. So, lagay lang natin yung mga values na nakuha natin kanina. And let's have our Cartesian plane. First thing, i-plot muna natin yung ating vertex. Yung ating vertex is at negative 1, negative 1. Next, kailangan pa natin ng ilang points para ma-sketch natin yung ating parabola. Para makita natin saan ba siya naka-open. Is it opens upward or downward? But mamaya, sasabihin ko kung ano yung shortcut para doon. Okay? So una, gawa muna tayo ng table of values. So lagay natin dito yung x. Sa baba naman natin yung y or yung ating f of x. Yung y is also equals to our f of x. Okay? Next, yung nasa gitna must be our vertex. As always yun. Yung middle value must be our vertex. So we have negative 1 and negative 1. Now, yung iba, makikita natin, kumukuha ng 5 points. So meron tayong dalawa dito sa kanan ng negative 1 and sa kaliwa ng negative 1. Pero since sketch lang naman yung kailangan natin, 2 points lang, okay na yun. Malalaman na natin kung saan papunta yung ating parabola. Okay? Now, kuha tayo ng number sa kanan ng ating negative 1. So, kunin natin ang 0. At yung nasa kaliwa naman, kuha tayo ng negative 2. Now, yung 0, i-plug in natin sa value ng x. Since yung 0 is equals to x. Now, saan natin ipa-plug in? Pwede tayong mamili sa dalawang equation natin. So, we have f of x equals to x squared plus 2x or f of x equals to x plus 1 squared minus 1. Same lang naman yan. Okay? So, mamimili tayo, alin yung mas madaling mag-substitute? So, dun tayo sa pangalawa. So, we have lahat ng x, palitan natin ng 0. So, f of 0 is equals to yung x natin naging 0 plus 1 squared minus 1. 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 squared minus 1 is simply 0. So, meron tayong isang point, 0, 0 or the origin. Next, plug in negative 2 sa ating equation. We have negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. Negative 1 squared is 1. 1 minus 1 will give us also 0. So, yung ating another point must be negative 2, 0. Now, pwede nating sketch yung ating graph. Like this. Next, how to find the domain. Kanina, nabanggit natin na yung domain ng ating quadratic function is all real number. So, in short, the domain is from negative infinity to positive infinity in symbol. So, in words, ito ay all real numbers. Okay? And the range, saan mag-umpisa ang range? Mapapansin natin na nag-start lang yung ating parabola dun sa ating vertex at yun ay nandoon sa negative 1 nung ating y-axis. Therefore, mag-start siya sa negative 1, papuntang pataas na yan, so papuntang positive infinity. In words, yung ating range is the set of all real numbers greater than or equal to negative 1. Pero syempre, since meron naman tayong symbol, so mas madaling gamitin yung symbol as yung range natin is from negative 1, counted siya, kaya gagamit tayo ng bracket, up to positive infinity. Now, kung gusto nyong mag-review para sa paggamit or pagsulat ng interval notation, maglalagay ako ng link sa video description ng video na to para ma-refresh kayo kung paano nga ba magsulat at paano basahin yung ating interval notation. Okay? And we're done. Next question is, Sir, paano namin i-check kung tama yung ginagawa namin? Okay, yun yung susunod na question natin. Nakapag-graph na tayo, nakakuha na kayo ng domain range. The question is, how to check if your answer is correct? Bago ka mag-submit, how to check kung ito ay tama. So, gagamit tayo ng tinatawag nating online calculator. Gagamit tayo ng Desmos. Now, pwede nyo itong i-download sa inyong mga cellphone. Libre naman to. Bukod sa libre na to, wala pa tong bayad. Okay? So, paano ba ito ginagamit? Ayusin lang natin yung setting. Yung setting natin, gawin natin siyang projector mode para mas magandang tingnan. And tanggalin natin yung minor axis. Then, yung steps natin, gawin lang natin tig 1. Okay, next. Sa kabilang side, dito natin itatype yung ating function. And syempre, aalalahanin natin, ano nga ba yung ating given function? So, balikan natin. Yung given must be f of x is equals to x squared plus 2x. Or pwede rin naman itong isa. Same lang naman yung lalabas na graph dyan. Okay? So, check natin. So, we have f of x. Type nyo lang, f of x is equals to x squared plus 2x. Ito yung graph na makikita natin. Therefore, yung ating graph is correct. Kasi ito lang din yung nakita natin dun sa in-sketch natin kanina. Okay, so gawin natin check kung tama yung ating ginagawa. Since tama yung graph natin, tama na rin yung ating domain, tama na rin yung range natin. Kasi yung range natin, kung mapapansin, ito po. Nag-start siya sa, by the way, pwede nyo makita yung vertex natin as negative 1, negative 1. And then, yung mag-start yung ating y, kung saan tumama yung ating graph, dito sa negative 1, and pataas na siya. So, tama yung ating range na from negative 1, papuntang positive infinity. Next, yung domain naman natin, lahat naman ng values ng x, pwede nating i-plug in dun sa ating equation, so there's no problem. So, again, therefore, our answer is correct. Next, let's move on to question number 2. Now, question number 2, ang goal natin is i-convert natin sa kanyang vertex form. I-locate natin yung axis of symmetry, the vertex, domain and range, and then sketch natin yung graph. Okay, let's have the solution. So, una, pagsamahin muna natin yung mga variable x. Okay? Next, since negative yung may x squared, i-factor out muna natin yung negative sign. Factor out natin, magiging f of x equals to negative of x squared na lang, then minus 7x. Pag kasi dinistribute natin yung negative sign, babalik tayo dun sa negative x squared plus 7x. Okay? Next, completing the square. So, paano ba gagawin yung completing the square? Same process ng ginawa natin kanina. Kunin natin yung numerical coefficient ng may variable x, and then multiply natin by 1/2, saka natin i-squared. Okay? So, again, numerical coefficient ng variable x, which is negative 7, and then multiply by 1/2, saka natin i-squared. Now, kung nag-add tayo, ano gagawin sa kabila? Magma-minus. Ang tanong, sigurado bang nag-add tayo? Pag-isipan muna natin. Kasi meron nakamultiply na negative dito sa labas. Pag i-distribute natin yan, magiging negative tong term na to. So, anong ibig sabihin nun? Hindi tayo literally nag-add. Actually, nag-subtract tayo. Okay? Now, sir, bakit po tayo nag-subtract? Kasi kung i-distribute natin yung negative sign, magiging negative x squared, ito yon, yung original. Tapos, ito ay magiging positive 7x, yung original. Itong dinagdag natin, negative times positive, ito ay negative. So, ibig sabihin, nag-subtract tayo. So, tandaan mabuti. Titingnan kung ano yung nakamultiply dun sa labas. Okay? So, medyo nakakalit tong part na to. So, don't worry. Meron tayong alternative way para makuha tong equation natin. So, again, nag-subtract po tayo. Hindi tayo nag-add. Kasi may negative dun sa labas. So, anong ibig sabihin? Kung nag-subtract ka, kailangan nating mag-add para maging balance. So, natin mag-add ng negative 7 times 1/2 and then quantity squared. Next, simplify na natin. We have f of x equals to negative of x squared minus 7x plus 1/2 times negative 7 is negative 7 over 2. Squared natin is 49 over 4. So, minus 6 plus 49 over 4. Simplify pa natin. So, pwede na natin itong i-factor as f of x equals to negative of x minus 7 over 2 quantity squared plus negative 6 plus 49 over 4 is simply 25 over 4. Therefore, yung ating vertex is at hk. Yung h natin dito is 7 over 2, while yung ating k is 25 over 4. And we're done. Axis of symmetry natin is h equals to 7 over 2. Yung h, papalitan natin ng x. So we have x equals to 7 over 2. And we're done. So tapos na tayo sa vertex form and axis of symmetry and the vertex. Now, ito yung question. Sir, medyo mahirap sa pagpunta sa vertex form. Totoo naman, especially kapag a lot of fraction ang mangyayari sa atin. Na meron bang ibang way para makapunta tayo dyan sa vertex form nang hindi dadaan sa medyo mahabang process? And the answer is yes, meron. Kumbaga para siyang shortcut. Now, paano natin gagawin yan? Gamitin natin yung concept na ipinakita dun sa una nating slide. So, ano yan? Yung h natin is negative b over 2a, while yung k natin is 4ac minus b squared all over 4a. Okay, apply natin. Sir, saan makukuha yung a, b, and c? Yung a, yun yung numerical coefficient nung x squared. Or ano yung number na kasama nung may variable na x squared? So, ito ay negative x squared or simply yung a natin is negative 1. Okay? Next, ano naman yung b? Yung b naman, yun yung kasama nung may variable x, which is positive 7. While yung c, yun yung constant. Next, plug in lang natin, substitute lang natin. We have h equals to negative of 7 over 2 times negative 1, negative 7 over negative 2, or simply 7 over 2. Ito rin yung nakuha natin kanina. Ito yung h, 7 over 2. Okay? Next, how about yung k? Plug in natin yung values. 4 times negative 1, yun yung value ng a natin, times negative 6 yung c natin, minus 7 squared, ito yung b, yung 7, all over 4 times negative 1. Now, 4 times negative 1 times negative 6 is 24 minus 49. 24 minus 49 is equals to negative 25 all over negative 4. So, negative 25 over negative 4 is positive 25 over 4. And that's it. Ito na yung ating value ng k. So, ang gagawin mo na lang, kuhanin mo yung ating vertex form, f of x equals to yung a mo, negative 1, kaya siya naging negative dun sa labas. Okay? Kaya may negative sa labas kasi yun yung a. So, negative a, quantity, x minus, ito yun, x minus, yung value ng h mo, we have 7 over 2, ito na siya, squared, plus, yung value ng k mo, which is 25 over 4, and you're done. So, hindi ka nagagamit na completing the square, wala na masyadong fraction, wala masyadong i-add, makakarating ka sa vertex form. Okay, let's continue. We are now ready to graph the function. So, ito na yung ating vertex form, yung vertex natin, at yung ating axis of symmetry. Now, let's have the Cartesian plane. I-graph natin yung ating vertex. Yung ating vertex is at 7, 2, 25 over 4. Now, yung 7 over 2 kasi is equals to 3.5. Kaya nasa kalahati siya ng 3 saka 4. And then yung 25 over 4 in decimal, ito ay 6.25. Kaya siya nandoon sa mas mataas ng konti sa 6. So kapag ganitong fraction, especially yung ating coordinates, medyo hindi siya ganun kadaling i-graph. Kaya ang tendency, i-convert nyo siya into decimal. Okay? So tip yun para medyo mas madalian tayo. Now, para makakuha pa ng dalawang points, kailangan natin ng table of values. So, x and y. Sa gitna, palagi natin ilalagay yung ating vertex. 3.5, para ako mas madali. Yung ating x is 3.5, yung ating y is 6.25. Next, kuha tayo ng number na mas mataas sa 3.5, which is 4. And then, plug in natin dun sa ating equation. Now, bakit dun sa una natin ipinalog in? Kasi, kapag dun sa pangalawa, sa vertex form, magkakaroon tayo ng fraction, isusubtract natin, i-squared pa natin, i-add pa natin sa another fraction. Okay? Eh, pwede naman dun sa original. Kasi itong dalawa naman na to ay same lang. So, pwede nating i-plug in dun sa original para less hassle at hindi tayo masyadong mahirapan. Again, equal lang din yung dalawang equation natin na to. Nakuha? So, in this case, gagamitin natin yung ating original. So, lahat ng x, papalitan ng 4. So, f of 4 equals to negative of, we have 4 squared, plus 7 times 4 minus 6. Simplify natin. Negative 16 plus 28 minus 6 is equals to 6. Next, hanap tayo ng number na mas mababa naman sa 3.5. So, pipiliin natin ay yung 3. Now, i-plug in natin yung 3 dun sa ating equation. We have f of 3 is equals to negative 3 squared plus 7 times 3 minus 6. Negative 3 squared is negative 9 plus 21 minus 6 is also 6. So, ito yung dalawang point natin. We have 4, 6 and 3, 6. Therefore, pwede na nating i-graph yung ating parabola like this. Okay, next. The domain. So, yung domain natin is always all real numbers. So, therefore, yung domain natin in symbol is negative infinity to positive infinity. The range must be negative infinity. Sa negative infinity kasi manggagana sa pinakailalim. So, kung natin yung pinamababang number up to pataasan ng pataas hanggang dun sa may 6.25 or simply 25 over 4. Now, in words, yung ating range is the set of all real numbers less than or equal to 25 over 4. But in symbol, na pwede naman natin gamitin, is simply from negative infinity up to 25 over 4 and then bracket. Bakit bracket? Kasi yun ay counted. Now, ito yung pinaka-hint or clue sa inyo. Yung domain, palagi yung negative infinity to positive infinity. As always yan, parabola. Yung range, nakadepende yan sa value ng a. Kapag yung value ng a ay negative, o yung kasama ng x squared is negative, yan ay papuntang negative infinity. Okay? Kaya maging sagot natin, negative infinity hanggang sa 25 over 4. Now, yung 25 over 4, nakita nyo na to kanina. Ito yung value nung k natin. O yung ating 4ac minus b squared over 4a. So, again, yung ating range, nakadepended sa value ng a. Kapag yung a is negative, papunta siyang negative infinity. Kapag yung a natin is positive, papunta naman siyang positive infinity. So, yung range naman natin, mula kay value ng k hanggang positive infinity. Next, paano natin i-check kung tama yung ating nakuhang sagot? So, gamit tayo ng online graphing calculator. So, in this case, gamit tayo ng Desmos. So, itatype natin dito yung ating function na given. We have f of x equals to negative x squared and then plus 7x minus 6. Oops, minus 6. Yun. So, there you go. Ito yung graph ng ating function. And, kung mapapansin, kamukha ito ng ating ginraph kanina. So, ibig sabihin nun, our answer is absolutely correct. Okay? So, let's move on to the last example. Example number 3. Now, example number 3, para makuha natin yung ating vertex form, gamitin na natin yung formula for h and k. Now, kunin natin yung values ng a, b, and c. Now, since yung value ng a is positive, automatic na yung parabola natin ay opens upward and yung range natin ay merong positive infinity. Okay? So, substitute muna natin yung value ng a, b, and c dun sa ating h and k. So, we have h is equals to negative of negative 4 over 2 times 3. Yung b natin is negative 4, yung a natin is positive 3. So, we have 4 over 6 or simply 2 over 3. So, we have the value of h. Next, the value of k. So, plug in. So, we have 4 times 3 times 2 minus, ito yung b natin, negative 4 squared, all over 4 times 3. Now, 4 times 3, 12 times 2 is 24. 24 minus 16 is equals to 8 all over 12. So, we have k is equals to 8 over 12. Pwede pang i-simplify. Simplify pa natin. So, we have k is equals to 2 over 3. Divide natin both numerator and denominator by 4. So, this becomes 2 over positive 3. Therefore, yung ating vertex form is f of x is equals to yung value ng a natin. Ano ba yung value ng a natin? 3. So, we have 3 times x minus yung h natin ay 2 over 3 plus yung k natin is 2 over 3. And we're done. Yung vertex naman, madali natin makukuha kasi yun yung h, k. So, yung h, k natin is 2 over 3 yung h and 2 over 3 din yung ating k. So, yung vertex, we're done. Next, axis of symmetry naman natin. Yung axis of symmetry natin, yun yung x-coordinate ng ating vertex. So we have x is equals to 2 over 3. Or kagaya ng ginawa natin kanina, yung h papalitan lang natin ng x, and that's it. Now, let's try to graph our function. So, meron tayong standard form, meron tayong vertex, at meron na tayong axis of symmetry. Let's have our Cartesian plane. Yung ating vertex is at 2 over 3, 2 over 3. In decimal, 2 over 3 is approximately 0.67. Kaya yung ating graph dito, hindi pa siya abot ng 1, at saka yung y natin, hindi pa rin siya abot ng 1. Okay? Next, kailangan pa natin kumuha ng 2 points para ma-sketch natin yung ating parabola. But don't forget, alam na natin na ito ay opens upward kasi yung value ng a natin is positive. Okay? So, kuha tayo dito ng x and y. Vertex nasa gitna. Kuha tayo ng number na mas mataas sa 0.67. So, kunin natin yung 1. Plug in natin yung 1 dun sa ating function. Now, pili tayo alin yung mas madali. Siyempre, mas madaling tingnan yung given natin. So, palitan natin yung lahat ng variable x. We have f of x equals to 3 times 1 squared minus 4 times 1 plus 2. Simplify natin. We have 3 minus 4 plus 2 or simply positive 1. Next, kuha tayo ng point na mas mababa sa 0.67. So, piliin natin yung 0. Now, plug in yung 0 sa lahat ng variable x. So, magiging 3 times 0 squared minus 4 times 0 plus 2 will give us 2. Therefore, yung ating another coordinates, we have 1, 1, and we have 0, 2. Sketch natin yung graph natin, and there you go. This is our parabola. Now, the domain must be, again, negative infinity to positive infinity, or in words, all real numbers. While yung range, mag-start siya sa value ng k. Ano ba yung value ng k natin? 2 over 3. So, 2 over 3 papuntang positive infinity. And yung 2 over 3 ay naka-bracket kasi yun ay counted. Now, in words, yung ating range is the set of all real numbers greater than or equal to 2 over 3. And we're done. Next, how to check if our answer is correct? So, gamit ulit tayo ng Desmos. Tandaan natin yung ating function na 3x squared minus 4x plus 2. Punta tayo sa Desmos. Burahin muna natin yung ating given kanina. So, we have f of x is equals to 3x squared minus 4x plus 2. And there you go. Halos ganito yung ating ginraph kanina. So, what does it mean? Our answer is correct. And we're done.